Hello, this is Andy for Campervan Tango, and this is part 4 of our self-build motorhome step-by-step guide. Hope you like it! In this guide we'll be covering building the kitchen units, the shower cubicle, and building the cupboards. This was our original plan for the kitchen units, which would have incorporated a normal campervan type 3-way fridge, but we decided to go for the cool box because it was a lot cheaper. So then we had to adapt the kitchen to make it fit for the cool box, which is slightly wider. The kitchen carcass and the doors were made all in the same sort of way with 2x1 plain batten with a 6mm groove routed out of the edge of it to accept the 6mm ply, and these were then screwed and glued together to make the end panels and the doors. When I was making the doors, I used a pocket jig to glue and screw them together, but to be honest this wasn't really needed, and on some of the carcass when I was building it I actually just screwed it through the ends, as long as you drill a pilot hole first to stop the wood from splitting. To finish off I just ran a little bead of sticks all around the edge, which smooths off any little gaps and also stiffen it up a little bit. So after I'd altered the carcass to accept the cool box, I did a trial fit of the sink and burner unit. It's a SMEV 9222. I was just making sure that it would actually clear underneath, and I think I had to cut out a little bit of the upright in the middle because it was catching where the burner or the sink was. The worktop, what we ended up going for, we actually got free off a friend, so we decided to use it. It's just a standard household kitchen worktop. I think it's 40mm thick, so it is quite heavy, but as you can see, quite a lot of it is cut out, so I was happy to use it. The cutout for the SMEV 9222 is a bit tricky because it's not just a straightforward cutout hole. I downloaded a template with the dimensions on it, but not actually to scale template, so I had to transfer over all the actual measurements and go from there really. And make sure you seal any cut edges on your work surface. I used a silicone sealant and just smeared it all in to make sure it was fully sealed, because if you don't and the water gets in, it'll swell all the worktop and it'll be ruined within months. Paint that we used was proper kitchen cabinet and cupboard paint, which is a lot more durable. It's a satin finish, so it's not too glossy, and it seems to be quite hard wearing. You can really scrub it, any marks off it and stuff, and it seems to be alright. We decided to put the cool box onto a pull-out shelf just to make it a little bit easier getting into the bottom of the cool box. This was easy to do, just used a couple of heavy-duty drawer runners. The kitchen drawer was pretty easy to make. It was just made out of 9mm ply, just pretty much a box, and then just put on the drawer runners, and then I would fasten the drawer front straight to the front just to make it a bit easier for fitting the drawer inside the cabinet. The push button door catchers were a little bit of a problem because they're designed mainly for the lightweight furniture board, which used 15mm, but because I'd used a 2x1 batten, which was 20mm, so it was a bit harder to find some what would adjust to take the 20mm thickness, but I managed to end up getting some, but I think they were a little bit cheap ones because a couple of them out of the ones what I ordered didn't actually work. So when we was deciding on a shower stroke toilet cubicle, we knew we wanted a shower. We definitely wanted a cassette toilet, but we didn't want to be cutting another hole in the side of the van because we wanted the van to more blend in. So we decided to have it so we would be able to pull it out from the inside, a little bit more discreet. We decided to go for the Thetford C200 toilet, which is integrated in with the shower tray. So the actual structure of the shower cubicle was made from 9mm ply with a 32x32mm timber outer frame. Again, this was routed out with a 9mm groove and the 9mm ply stuck into it. The two sides were erected, and then a front piece with an opening which was going to be the doorway. All was fixed in place, screwed at the bottom into the floor, and then just stick soled onto the ceiling and the ply for the walls. When I was looking into these shower trays on the internet, I'd seen a few people had actually strengthened up the base of the shower tray because I think they're a little bit flimsy, so I followed suit and stuck on some ply onto the bottom, and it really has stiffened it up when you walk on it inside. There's no flex in it at all. So I had to cut out 2 holes in the floor because you can put the waste on either side, and you've got the little indentation in the shower base which goes into the floor, so I had to cut the 2 holes out, but one was through the floor for the waste which goes into the underslung tanks on the van, which I'll tell you more about in another video. So this was just a trial fit for the access door for the cassette to be removed out from inside of the van. This was the inner ply for the inner wall of the toilet cubicle. Because of how I had designed and built it, I needed to put a cavity. So I made a template out of the cardboard and then traced it onto 4mm ply, cut it out, and then was perfect fit. So inside I had to pack it out with 20mm thickness timber to pack it out so it was level with the wood what I'd used for the outer walls, the 32 by 32mm. I had a 20mm gap between the edge of that and the 9mm ply, so it had to be packed out with 20mm timber, so then I could just stick the 4mm ply straight onto that to give me the inner skin of the cubicle. On the back wall, this was basically just 4mm ply just stuck straight onto the existing 9mm ply what I'd used for the wall, but then tapered up onto the top to make it more smoothed in. Because our cubicle came past the window, I had to make a box to make a window reveal. This was just made out of 4mm ply and then actually stuck onto the back of the 4mm ply that had stuck onto the rear wall. Once all the inner panelling was on, it was sealed all round the edges with the stick sole, left to dry and primed and just painted with exterior gloss white paint. When the window reveal box was stuck into place, you could actually see the wood from the seating area side, so I decided to just cover it with the carpet that I'd used on the walls, and it really blended it in, so you couldn't really notice it. It just looked like the reveal for the actual side window reveal. So this was the shower tray and the Thetford C200 cassette toilet, all fixed and stuck into place. The shower tray was stuck down with the stick sole and silicone sealant all around the edges, and the toilet was screwed in place and siliconed round the back edge as well, so it was all sealed and hopefully no leaks. When we was making the wall cupboards, especially the kitchen cupboards, we didn't really want to make anything too deep or too big to take up all the space and make it feel really enclosed in. We wanted to keep it really open, so we just decided to put a really slimline kitchen cupboard in, basically so we could just put a few plates in there, a few cups, few glasses. So this is pretty much what we ended up with. I didn't really design it, I just sort of knocked it up. 2 wall cupboards that was going on either side of the cubicle were made from the same 2x1 batten again, but was made with 9mm ply instead because I wanted it a bit more sturdy, and the 9mm ply was going to be sort of part of the structure. And these were pretty easy to make up. All the cupboards were basically just screwed either into the ceiling and tried to get them into the actual roof battens, or just screwed into the 9mm wall ply. This was strong enough to take the weight what was going to be actually put into the cupboards. These cupboard doors were made in exactly the same way as I'd made the kitchen cupboard doors, and the toilet door was actually made from 9mm ply and edged again, routed in and around the edge with 20 by 20mm timber. On the kitchen side, we decided to put up a couple of little shelves. The one above the kitchen, which was Sarah's idea, was that she wanted to put spice jars up there. I told her that they would rattle around a little bit, but she was adamant. So we decided to make a matching one above the bed, and this turned out to be really handy on our trip because we could put as phone, as books, little bits and bobs and stuff, and they were in easy reach for when you was in the bed. So that was really handy, and they were pretty easy to make. It was only made out of 3x1 plain timber with a routed edged 2x1 batten across the front. The one above the kitchen, because it was where the sliding door was, it had to have a back in it, and this was again just a groove routed out with 4mm ply put along the back just to stop things from falling through. It worked out pretty well, to be honest. Well, thanks for watching, and look out for part 5 of our van build series. Don't forget to subscribe.